Unconditional love to all life everywhere. I'm Olo, Thoth, code in the cosmos, sending you heart, love, and energy. So, welcome. Today's topic is fearlessness. My intention with making this video is to assist you in becoming aware of love's presence, recognizing that fear is of the ego mind and love is of spirit. I am here to assist you also in choosing love and spirit over fear and the ego, for it is the right choice to make, and how you know it is the right choice is because it feels good. I'll talk about this later. Our feeling body, our guidance. So, what is fear? It is a blockage that obscures love's presence, to put it simply. And the root of all fear is the belief that we are a separate individual with this self-concept that either God is out to get you in some way, or that there is no God. So all fear is born from the belief that you are a body and that you are nothing else. Well, truly we are spirit, and this creates peace in the mind and makes you aware of love's presence. But when you believe you are a body, you can be attacked, you can be hurt, you can die, you can suffer. But when you know that you are spirit, none of these things can occur, because spirit is something that cannot be threatened, something that is everlasting, changeless, and perfect. So when you believe that you are a body, and when you are in fear, you are prone to attacking, because if you are fearful, you will attack. It's just a matter of time, because you believe that you have something to defend, which is your body, which is truly actually not who you are. So attack and defense are really two sides of the same coin, and both are of the ego mind and both are fearful. I'm not telling you to not defend yourself if someone tries to hurt you. I'm telling you that to defend spirit and who you truly are is not righteous, because it needs no defense. And attack and defense is unjustified, because spirit cannot hurt nor be hurt. And fear also limits, so it makes your experience of this world limited, in the sense that you cannot express yourself, you cannot go and get out of your shell and have those loving relationships with others, because you are fearful of what people think, or you're fearful of being attacked or being judged. So these are all projections, and when you truly realize that spirit is in all and that is all that is, you'll realize that you cannot be attacked or judged or any of these things. So fear affects all of our choices and our beliefs about who we are and our actions. It starts in the mind. It all begins in the mind. So you may start thinking fearful thoughts and feeling fearful emotions, and then that is manifested as our beliefs and our actions. Fear is of the ego, and the ego is a complete thought system. So, I want to create a contrast for you of what fear and the ego is and what spirit and love is. And we haven't really talked much about love yet because love cannot be explained, but peace can be explained. And what peace is what happens when you have correct perception of the way you see the world and the way that you see reality. So do not underestimate fear. Do not underestimate the ego mind, for it does not have a grasp on you, but you are the one that chooses it. It does not have a grasp on you, but you have a grasp on it. So release it. That is all you must do. If you are to ascend higher into the realms of love and light. So now I will speak about the choice. I'm creating this contrast for you. So love or fear, what do you choose? And how much willingness do you have to really follow what it is you choose? All I want to say is that love is the answer, and I know that from the way that I feel within myself when I choose love. And I want to eliminate the choice of ever choosing fear again, because I know the contrast. I've experienced revelation described in A Course in Miracles, and I have experienced the ego mind and its manifestations as fear and hatred and guilt and shame. These sorts of things. So I felt the contrast, and when you have felt that contrast, you cannot help but feel like love is the choice to make. That love is the answer. That love is true. It is the truth. And all else is illusion and lies about who we are and about what exists and what doesn't. So I wrote down identity for all. So your idea of who you are might be the wrong idea, and that you would know by the way you feel. If you feel bad about who you are, then you have the wrong idea of who you are, because truly we are spirit, and that is the identity for all. So you must look at your brothers and sisters as brothers and sisters, first of all, and you must look towards them with love, with the idea that we are one being, the idea and the truth that there is one spirit that moves through all things. So spirit is in this world because spirit cannot be limited. It cannot be limited in the sense that it is infinite, and something infinite touches upon all things. So spirit is here in this world, but the world is not in spirit, if that makes sense. So that's the correct perception to understand that all beings are you, and whatever you think of yourself, you think of others. Whatever you think of others, you think of yourself. Because guess what? Everyone is you. So if you are projecting onto others, blaming others, you are in fact blaming yourself, and you will feel bad if you blame others. So the world is a physical representation of separation, of fear, of the choice to separate from God. So all of our fears, all of our hatred, and our suffering is played out in the world for us to forgive, for us to heal. and everything that is happening within whatever is happening in the world is a reflection of your own consciousness and something that you need to heal within yourself and forgive. Fear is never justified. So I want you guys to really just sit with that for a little while. Contemplate it for the whole day, or repeat it as a mantra if you wish. Fear is never justified. And some people will say, well, it's justified because it keeps me safe. But also love keeps you safe. And you must realize this, that fear keeps you limited. And really, fear does not keep you safe because you will attack when you are fearful. And there could be a huge conflict about this, but that would be out of fear. So really what the truth is something that cannot be defended, something that will not be defended, because I know this principle that I will not defend the truth. I will not have a conflict with someone about these principles, because I know that spirit is real, and that I am spirit, and that so are you. So I see the innocence in you and forgive. If there is any feelings within you that feel wrong about this principle, that fear is never justified, well, I forgive that, and I'm not here to be right, I'm here to love. So really love can keep you safe, and it is the only safety, in fact, because fear is a frequency, and frequency attracts like frequencies. So if you are fearful, you could manifest in the world a justification for that fear. Someone could come up and start verbally abusing you because you are fearful. You are drawing that to your consciousness. And I like to sometimes call it the predator-prey frequency. The predators seek out and smell your fear. Smell your fear. And if you are fearful, you are sending out a frequency to be attacked or to create some situation where you need to defend yourself or attack. So this is the laws of creation. And I wanted to share a couple mantras that you guys could try out that would make the fear subside and disappear. So the first one is, I am not a body, I am spirit, or simply I am spirit, whatever you choose. I feel that the part about the body is important, though, to recognize that you are not a body, you are spirit. You are the one spirit that moves through everything, and only the spirit is real, and all else is illusion. So this creates peace in the mind. And the second mantra I wanted to share is that I cannot hurt nor be hurt. And that is coming from the place of spirit as well, because spirit cannot hurt nor be hurt. So I wanted to bring up the 3 fears. All fear can be categorized into 3 fears, and the first being the fear of pain. So this is any sort of suffering or physical pain, and how you heal the fear of pain is to know you're not a body, and this creates peace in the mind. The opposite of suffering is peace. The second fear is the fear of lack, and this is healed by the realization or the knowing that you are it all, and there is nothing that isn't you. everything is you, and you are everything. You are spirit. How can you lack when you are everything? And the third fear is the fear of God. This is replaced by the knowing that God is you and that you are God, and that love is what God is. We are only fearful of God because we believe that He will attack us. We only fear God because we believe that He has created the world, which, by the way, He has not. God has nothing to do with this world. If He did, He would be a terrible God, because there's a lot of messed up shit going on the planet. And if God created this, He is insane. It's just how it is. So fear of God happens from the wrong idea of God, and the way to replace this fear with love is to see that we are one with God and that God is love. So I wanted to speak about the guidance system a little bit, like I was speaking about at the beginning. Our guidance system is our feeling body. So basically how it works is when you feel bad, you have not followed your guidance. And when you feel good, you have followed your guidance. So stop following the trail of fear. Stop following the trail of guilt and shame and fear and hatred. And begin following your guidance system that is telling you all the time and giving you constant feedback of every experience that you have of what is right and what is wrong. And what I want you to follow, of course, is what's right. And I want you to feel love within yourself. I want you to feel peace. So things that you could do to help you feel good are being creative, expressing yourself in some way, doing some art, or writing a song, or hanging out with some friends and having a celebration of some sort, a celebration of life, because why not do that every day, and yeah, things that feel bad are attacking, are shaming, are projecting, and all of that. So what I want you to do, instead of project your guilt, is to extend your light. And this will make you feel very good. And of course, your guidance is always telling you to change your beliefs and to upgrade your mind. It's telling you to align with spirit and to return home. That is what the guidance system is guiding you to do, is to return to heaven, to heavenly love. It's always a choice, and love is always certain of that choice, because when you see something that is wrong, you must create the model that makes that wrongness obsolete and wrong. So that's what we need. That's what our purpose is to do on earth, is to bring light to the world, to create a model that makes the old model obsolete, because obviously there's some problems in our society, in our earth, our planet, our universe, that are wrong. So how we change that is we create the new model and create that contrast for people so that they can easily choose love. Because when, like I said before, if you have felt love and you have felt fear, it's pretty hard to choose fear because it feels bad. And I wanted to speak of the guidance system in the sense that when you're at a low frequency of fear, of separation, that kind of mentality, doing terrible things feels good to you. And it feels like the right thing to do, but you will always feel bad from doing things that are bad. for example, you might go and turn to alcohol for salvation, for peace. And you're really calling for love by doing that. You're not expressing love, you're calling for love by turning to mind altering substances. It matters not what it is. But it will not give you peace. It will just give you a temporary feeling that it is giving you peace. But in the bigger picture, I want you to do the things that will make a long-lasting, forever loving feeling stay with you, you know? So when you're at a low frequency, things that are bad feel good to you. So I want you to raise your frequency, realizing that you are not a body, you are a spirit, that you cannot hurt nor be hurt. And all of this mentality, this will raise your frequency and make bad things feel bad to you and make good things feel good to you. It'll put everything in the proper place in your mind. So, I wanted to talk about forgiveness. And I have a couple quotes written down from A Course in Miracles. The first one is actually from the book Disappearance of the Universe, which I'd recommend, and as well as A Course in Miracles, of course. The first quote is, "Fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free." So, as I said before, fear limits, and forgiveness is the means to be free. The second quote is a little longer, and it describes what forgiveness is. "Forgiveness does not pardon sins and make them real. It sees there was no sin. In this perception, all sins are forgiven. Sin is a false idea about God's Son. Forgiveness sees its falsity and therefore lets it go, replacing sin is God's will." Let me read that again. I don't know if that made sense. "Forgiveness does not pardon sins and make them real. It sees there was no sin. In this perception, all sins are forgiven because they don't exist, exactly. And sin is a false idea about God's Son because God's Son is spirit. And that's who our true self is. And if we see the other self, choose to perceive it, we will, if we see our brother as a body, then we see ourselves as a body. And that is not who we are. So see your brother as spirit, what they truly are, and you will see what you truly are and feel good. Forgiveness sees its falsity and therefore lets it go. Replacing sin is God's will." Okay, well, I don't know if I wrote down that quote is exactly how it is said in A Course in Miracles. I probably should have, but I forgive myself because I didn't really fucking make this video, guys. The separation never occurred. We're not on Earth. We're actually in heaven right now. And that's really where it's happening. That's really what's going on. That's really what's real and what is. So, I have one more thing I wanted to talk about, actually, which is responding to images. And basically, you just need to follow your guidance system on how to respond to images. Because you don't just, close your eyes and say the world isn't real and then fucking do nothing because it's not real, or whatever crazy mentality you might have because the world isn't real, you just kind of panic or something. That's not what I'm asking you to do at all. What I'm asking you to do is still respond to the images of the world, um, because this is the other side of the coin of forgiveness, is to respond to the images the way that your guidance system guides you to do it. You will know if you have the right way of responding to the images by the way it makes you feel, like doing art, making music, working with your hands, creating, expressing, extending light. This is what we must do on the level of form to respond to these images. This will help lead us home, because it's not that we realize the world is illusion and then we just wake up. No, that's not the whole thing. We have to actually respond to the images and know that the world isn't real while living in it, and until it becomes a happy dream. And then when it's a happy dream and we have the correct perception of the world, which is why it's happy, is when we awaken and we return home to heaven. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I hope that it was transformative in some way, in the most loving and peaceful way that is possible, I guess, or whatever. Yeah, so I love you all. Unconditional love to all life everywhere.